So apparently people were very excited about me coming tonight. And that surprises me that anybody thinks that I'm a big deal because I just see myself as very normal, like everybody else, and I have a calling and a passion in life, just like everybody else. Mine just happens to be a little otherworldly. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I'm laughing because I thought I had 30 minutes to talk tonight, and I was like, geez, just to get through my introduction, it's going to take me 30 minutes. But I also kind of wanted to make my announcements too, because once Spirit starts talking, once Spirit starts kind of coming through, then, you know, they don't care about upcoming classes or anything. So my name is Nancy Rebecca, and my Western education is as a registered nurse. And there's several. How many hospice people are here that I worked with before? So awesome. I haven't worked as a hospice nurse for probably about 25 years now. I've worked as a full-time psychic, full-time, since 1998, long before it was very popular. And so just to, you know, when I tell people that when I work as a full-time psychic, I've done over 15,000 readings easily. And the type of readings I do are a little bit different, I think, than, I don't know, I think psychics are like nurses. You go to nursing school and you get trained as a nurse, but then you decide what your specialty is going to be. So some psychics work with animals, and some do past lives, and some work with karmic changes, and some work as psychic mediums. So you have a variety. When a psychic works, they get to choose in whatever specialty field that they want to work in. And so because I'm a nurse, my thing is, what does your aura look like? What does your energy field look like? So that's my thing. That's kind of my baseline. So I am going to tell you, we do have Free Healing Friday. We've had that for, well, let me just kind of back up a bit. I can feel my heart's kind of beating, and I'm like, this rush. I've got these guys behind me, and then I have all their spirit guides behind them, and so I can feel like this intensity of, and then all of you and all your guides that you brought in. So let me tell you about my story. I'm not going to get into any of the other stuff yet. So I was a hospice nurse, and I was working with people who were dying during the day, and then at night I had 3 of my own family members dying. So it's just basically I would change clothes, and then I would go take care of my family members. So in 6 months I had 3 family members die. And so it's already, when someone is dying and you're sitting at the bedside, it's very emotionally intense, but they're also transitioning from one vibration to another, because the spirit doesn't die, the soul personality doesn't die, their character of who they were doesn't die, just that they let go of the body. But I didn't know that at the time that I was working as a hospice nurse. So what ended up happening with my 3 family members dying is that I was feeling quite stressed. So this was about in 1992. So I thought, well, I've seen in movies when people meditate, they look pretty calm. So I went to the bookstore and I got a book on meditation, and I sat down in my living room. My husband and my 2 children were already in bed, and I started reading out of the book. Okay, close your eyes, light a candle. It said light a candle, put on soft music, sit down, close your eyes, and breathe. And it was like, okay, that seems pretty simple. I can do that. I did that, in about 5 minutes I started feeling a little, I'm just going to say, creeped out. I just felt creeped out. Now what I know now is that the room probably filled with spirits. Or I probably just felt my own soul. It creeped me out. I wasn't familiar with these feelings. So I thought, oh, that's a good start, so I'm going to go to bed. I went up, put my pajamas on, and I'm going to make this part of the story pretty quick because I have a lot of stuff that I can share. But what happened was, when I went to bed, there was a flash of light. And if you know the movie Groundhog's Day, where the person wakes up and the whole day starts all over again, well, that happened for me, but I was standing next to my bed, getting ready to get in my bed again. So I had no memory that I had already climbed into bed. So I look down, and the body that I see in the bed, I'm assuming it's my 14-year-old son. So I went to wake him up to get him to go into his own bed, and my arms went right through the body. So that was not my son, that was my body. So when I tell people, that was like the worst horror movie ever, because no one in nursing school had ever taught me anything about this. No one in nursing school had ever even talked about that we were a soul, that we're a spirit. No one ever talked about out-of-body experiences unless you've got a mental health diagnosis attached to it. And we all have them. This is what I've learned now. How many in here have had an out-of-body experience, have floated, have had numbness, like when you're trying to wake up, you can't move your body? All that's connected to your spirit needs to be released from your body every night, because it needs a friggin' break from our day-to-day life that's going on. I mean, it doesn't take a psychic to say that the energy on this earth is dense right now. And so our spirit will quickly, when we close our eyes and the body goes to sleep, so it starts detoxing, it goes into detox mode, and then our spirit goes to whatever dimension that it goes to, and for each of it, it's different. Some people go to star dimensions, some people go to animal dimensions, some people go to forests, some people go to mountains. So everybody goes to different dimensions in the spirit world. So for me, my spirit was standing next to me, next to my body in the bed. I had about 40 of these out-of-body experiences over about a 6-week period of time. I was desperately trying to find help. Both my parents are doctors. My mother's a psychologist. So fortunately, my mother had to convince me not to go to the doctor or not to go to the hospital. I wanted to go, but she was like, no, don't go there. Let's give your dad and I some time to see if we can help you figure out what's going on. And you know, they're 2 smart people. We're 3 smart people. This is in 1992, and there was no information available. So what did I end up having to do? I looked up psychic in the phone book. I was desperate. I figured, oh my gosh, I'm terrified to go see a psychic. However, I desperately need some sleep. So in that 6-week period of time, I did not sleep. Because every time I fell asleep or even closed my eyes, my body would collapse and I would be out of my body again. Now, I'm telling you this because I'm trying to write a book right now to go through all the places that I visited, because I did not stay in my room. I learned how to fly, I learned how to move through walls and doors. I went to other planets, I went to other countries, I went to visit other people, so I became very well self-taught and skilled. But and I was still showing up for work every day as a hospice nurse, and I was really good at pretending that everything was okay. You know, I can put on a good front, but now I'm getting to a point where I'm not getting enough sleep. Okay, so now I'm going to put that whole story off to the side, because how many years later is that? Like at least 25 years since that happened. So you can imagine I've evolved since then. The first 2 psychics that I called thought I was crazy. So by the time I had the guts to pick up the phone and call the 3rd psychic, there were only 3 in the phone book. I just looked it up to the other day. There's like 120 million psychics on the internet now when you put in Google. But at the time, there was only 3 in the phone book. By the time I called the 3rd one, I was crying so hard. She just said, come now, you're in a safe place, and I believe you. That's all she said. You're in a safe place. And I needed to hear that. So that has become kind of my mantra for anybody that comes to see me. You're safe. You're in a safe place. You can share anything that you want to share. So I did go and I did get help, but let me just say that what happened after that first out-of-body experience, when I did come back into my body, because I don't know how that happened. It's just, I don't even remember waking up. I just remember I'm up all night. I can't get in my body, and then I'm in my body again. But I could see energy fields. I didn't know what an aura was. I didn't know what a chakra was. I didn't know what a spirit was. I could see their spirit guides. I could see their loved ones on the other side. I could hear their thoughts. I could hear everybody's thoughts. I can hear your thoughts right now. I can see your spirit guides. I can see your aura. I can see your chakras. None of that has changed. So when someone says, how do you live like that? It's like, oh, well, that's a cute sweater you have on. Oh, I like your salmon colored jacket. It's like that. To me, it's part of your clothes. So I've normalized it that much. How many in here see auras, see chakras?
I see colors.
Come on, raise your hand. Stand up proudly and say, hey. Okay, how many of you know stuff? You just know stuff. Yeah, exactly. How many of you are empaths that you feel a lot of stuff? Yeah. And then clairaudience. How many of you are, you hear voices, you can ask a question? Yeah. And so all of those things are abilities. We're all different. It's just that my dominant one is clairvoyance, that I can see. So I did find the Church of Divine Man, so some of you may remember that in Tacoma years ago. There was a psychic school there. I ended up going there and going to Everett, and I will be forever grateful for them saving me and normalizing this work. And I often have people say, how come you, especially in the professional field now, they'll say, why did you go into metaphysics? Why did you become a psychic? Why did you start doing past life reading? I said, because that's the only group that would welcome me with open arms. They embraced me. They said, you're not crazy. They helped me. They loved me and supported me. And so now the medical community is waking up, and now they want me to drop the word psychic. I'm like, I ain't doing it. You can come up to our level. We are now the majority, and I tell people all the time that the non-believers are now in the minority. Those that believe, in 2003 there was a study, they asked people who believed in metaphysics. So at the time in 2003, it was 52% believed, 48% didn't believe. That was in 2003. We're now in 2019. So the people who don't believe, the numbers are going down and the believers are going up. If you just look at all the services that are available now. So I had to learn kind of how to navigate all of that. So I went to the psychic school, and they taught me how to do readings. I was hoping they would teach me how to put it all back in the box again. They said, nope, you've had a full-blown spiritual awakening. I had a full-blown Kundalini awakening. Everything blew wide open. So there's called a primary awakening and a secondary awakening. So what I had was a primary awakening. So a primary awakening is where one day I was one person, and then the next day it was like I was a totally different person. I was conscious. I went from unconscious to conscious. I couldn't have an unconscious thought anymore. And so that's the way it is for me now. I just see things from a very different perspective. So from my perspective, it's almost like I died and was reborn without having let go of my body. So I left nursing in about the year 2000, and that's when I had my office and really started working more full-time. So, let's see, what I want to talk about, the health of the energy field. So I'll just tell you a little, see, I told you my introduction alone would take 30 minutes. So in The year 2003, Spirit came in. Spirit came in about 3 years before and said, we need you to sell everything and become portable. And that's the thing about the spirit world. They don't like tell you direct. It's almost like in riddles. When you guys say it's like these riddles that come in, so it's like, okay, what does that mean? Sell everything and become portable. And they said, we need you to sell everything. Your house, your cars, all your furniture, everything to fit in one suitcase. And we need you to head out into the world and we'll give you your next set of instructions once everything's sold. How many in here would do that? Raise your hand if you would. Raise your hand.
It sounds freeing. It sounds really freeing. It's scary to free.
It's scary, but it's freeing. Now, my daughter was still in high school, and I'm like, look, I'm a single parent at this point. My husband divorced me because of this. He really thought that I was possessed. We've been married 18 years, so I just want to, I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyway, he demanded that I no longer meditate in the house, because that was my sanity, was to meditate so I wouldn't have any more out-of-body experiences. Because what happened at the psychic school was they gave me a 5-minute healing, taught me how to ground, and I never had an out-of-body experience again. And as a nurse, I was like, okay, I don't know, my life was a total mess 5 minutes ago. And now I feel more normal than I've ever felt in my whole life. This information needs to be out in the world. So that's my calling. We all are called to do something, and mine is to bring this work out of the closet. So everything I've done is about being bold, standing up, saying, I'm not crazy, this work is awesome, and it can really help people a lot. And so even when I got my center, which is on the corner of 27th and Bridgeport, it was like, I want to be on a busy intersection. I mean, Spirit chose it. It's like, be bold, be out there. And I have had people come in and be very upset. And I've had to escort them out and say, I'll have to get a restraining order if you keep coming in trying to shut us down from churches and stuff. So that's why I need more of you guys to keep standing up, you know. I need a whole support system with that. So, so what I learned was when I did readings for people, and I think, wow, I feel like I'm reading myself. And that's what readings are all about. Any psychic will tell you, it's like you are a mirror for them. So once I learned that they were mirroring to me what I was not able to see in myself, I became like a mad woman, and I just started reading everyone. The neighbors, no one was safe. Because I wanted mirrors, but I wanted to see the reflection in me so that I could heal it. And I wanted to see the reflection and I could heal it. So I just did a little reading for Annie tonight, and I'm like, you're good. Hey, I'll take that one. Because what her spirit is saying is she's tapped in. And it's like my spirit saying to me, you're tapped in, Nancy. And it's like, I like what she mirrored to me. And sometimes it's not always beautiful what's mirrored to, but it's like that gets you to work on your shadow stuff. That gets you to work on the sides of yourself that maybe aren't so pretty. But in the spirit world, it's all beautiful. So, getting back to my story, I sold everything and I moved to Africa, and my wife of 20 years, which she will say 19 years. So what she said, I said, Yvonne, God told me to sell everything and become portable. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And she was like, if God told me to sell everything and become portable, I would do it. So that's what we did. She had a house, I had a house. We both sold both houses. We sold everything. So we lived in Africa, and we did. We traveled for 5 years around the world. We worked in third world countries as nurses. And we taught techniques, taught people how to heal themselves. We did a lot of healings, did a lot of readings, gave talks. Spirit took us, designed the whole thing beautifully. And then there came a point where I thought, I need I need a home again. I need to be grounded somewhere. So I came back to Tacoma. So we've been back here since 2007. Yeah, 2005. All right. So I think I'll do a little demonstrations here in a minute because I had a couple people, and your aura is too damn pretty to demonstrate on. I'm just kidding. But I have had people come up and say, would you demonstrate on my aura? So, so what I do is, so yes, I can see your aura. And so let me just give you a little, before you raise your hand, and I am going to have you come up, by the way. And who else asked? Oh, right next to her? Okay, but I want to forewarn you. Spirit does not know how to lie. So, what that means is, anything I see in your energy field is pure truth, even if you don't want anybody to know it. You can lie. You can lie to yourself, or you can say, for example, I'm happy when you are raging inside, and you can have a smile on your face, but if you come up here, I'm going to see the rage. So I just want to forewarn you that, but I'm not, I am a nurse.
She's the nice nurse.
I know bedside communication. So, would you mind coming up? I'll just give an example. And what is your name again?
Andrea.
Andrea? Okay, I'm going to have you stand right there. Come on, can you do this? Right there. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to describe her aura that I see. So if Andrea came walk, I call it the grocery store aura. So I said, if my shopping cart's going down the aisle and your shopping cart's down the aisle, and we hit shopping carts, and I'm like, whoa, hi Andrea. Wow, you've got this beautiful aura. And it's like, wow, you've got a lot of green from like the shoulders to the waist. You've got a lot of red in the legs. But around the head, it's like this very, very, very light pink. It's like, why aren't you getting your head in the game? So, that's the first thing I would say. So, but even though there's multiple colors and multiple layers, this is what I'm going to look at. So she does absolutely have a very beautiful aura. And I can see her chakras as well. And so what I can see is in her chakras, they're, let's see, I'm looking first, second, third. Okay, so her crown chakra is spinning like, the word that comes up is like Cleopatra. Just this, just beautiful, just radiant, just bright. Her spirit's very bright. Her spirit's very evolved. Her spirit's very conscious. However, you're not totally bringing that consciousness all the way down into your body. So what's happening is your chakras are spinning very slow, and it's like your spirit's wanting you to own your abilities. Your spirit's wanting you to be sitting up here at this table. Your spirit's wanting you to develop your abilities, but you're very shy and you're really holding back about that.
One thing I want to say
Yeah.
that I feel very strongly about, that I haven't shared with my family, but I was Cleopatra.
Oh my God. So she said, so you go ahead and tell them. Yeah, you got it. I'm going to make you own it.
I was Cleopatra.
Yay. So, Mom here, has she shared that with you?
I gave birth to Cleopatra.
But she's saying, I believe, and see, that's not random. I know anything I say is significant. So that's not a word that I would normally use. So yes, it's like she's Cleopatra, but here it's like your spirit wants to come down into the body. Your spirit was not meant to live out. If it wanted to live outside the body, it wouldn't have bothered creating a human body to live in. And it's our spirit that creates our bodies. So that's the thing I want you to know. Like for me, I'm always complaining about my breast size. but my spirit's always reminding, I'm the one that created that. So I figured I must not have had any in the last lifetime, and so I kind of over-exaggerated it. But what I'm saying is that your spirit really wants to come down. You're really holding back in your life. You're around the outer edges. I can see you're around the outer edges of your life, and it's like, yeah, you've got a lot of confidence with your friends and your family, but it's like your spirit's wanting to come out. Do you think Cleopatra wanted to stay hidden away in a room somewhere? No. It's like, no, she wanted to be out amongst lots and lots of people. So what I will say is, so the first thing I said about her is, why aren't you getting your head in the game? So that very light pink, she's very kind, she's very loving, but it's like she's got such a bold spirit. It's like, why is she holding back? It would be like watered down pink, very watered down around your head. And so your spirit's wanting to come down. But what happens if your spirit drops down into your clairvoyant chakra? It's just going to blow open your psychic abilities, and you are holding back big time. I know I'm ready. So that's what you say. Now I think, because when you say I think I'm ready, you're giving all the power to your brain, to your mind. But it's like, okay, I'm ready. And once you say I'm ready, that's when your spirit has you sign the release form. It says, okay, I won't be held responsible for anything that happens after this. Because your spirit, when your spirit hears, I'm ready to move from where I am now, I'm not happy, I'm depressed, I'm having anxiety, I'm struggling, I want these changes to happen. You tell your spirit very strongly, very powerfully, your spirit is going to make those changes happen. So see what's happening already is she's got a beautiful, strong red color. Can you feel it? That's,
Yeah, I feel flush.
yeah. So it's right away it's starting to get really red, and now all of a sudden that green that I saw, it was more of a yellow green. It's becoming a very dark green, and then in her legs it's becoming a very dark blue. That means more of her spirit's coming in, and her personality is coming out. So awesome, awesome. Thank you. Okay, you next, since she accosted me in the bathroom as I was talking.
Well, I'm not shy.
Okay, so what is your first name?
Angela. It's Angel with an A for attitude.
Angel with an A for attitude, she said. Okay. Do you work as a medium? Do you talk to dead people?
Yes.
Yeah, you've got a lot in your field. Yeah. So, so she has a lot of spirits in her. Do you work as a, seriously, I'm asking?
No, I don't. But spirits always come to me, you know. I need those that are dead. And
So what she's saying is, no, she doesn't work as a medium, but spirits always come to her and she talks to them. So what I'm going to count. 24. You have 24 spirits in your body, in your aura, in your 7. So what happens is you've got 20. I'm describing this to everybody because I want you to hear this. So you have your personality, and thank goodness you've got a great sense of humor, because that really, humor keeps the amusement, humor vibration is very close to the divine, to the God energy. It's very close. So in the
It was Bernie. She turned.
you're
She
getting
did.
mine.
She perked right up and went, oh.
So what I want to say is that when you have another spirit inside your aura, you are influenced by their personality. So imagine, like, if you've been at a party and then someone comes walking in and they're really angry, and it's been a fun party the whole time, everybody's laughing and joking, and then somebody comes walking in a bad mood and it gets really quiet, it gets kind of heavy and dense in the room. It's like all of a sudden you're not having a good time, all of a sudden you get sleepy, you feel like you should go home. That one person can cause you to leave a fun party and like, how come? How come we do that? So, as long as you're happy about these 27 people influencing you, 24, then they can remain. However, if you're not feeling good, if it's hard for you, if you're getting headaches, if it's hard for you to get your head off the pillow when you wake up in the morning,
I just want to sleep.
you just want to sleep. Yeah, that's the issue. So then you want to have a good clearing. So you want to get on the table, have a energy balancing, and have somebody just help you get cleared out. But you want to separate afterwards. So I do also work as a medium at times, and then afterwards there's this area in the back of your neck and shoulders. That's where the spirits come in. It's where the spirits come in to communicate. You want to make sure and run some gold through there after you talk to a spirit to make sure that you get back to yourself again. But what I'm seeing is they're already clearing, so I don't know if somebody's helping you. I don't know if it's just the vibe, but they're going pretty quickly. Are you helping her?
Me? Would I do that?
Well, I don't know. Well, it's working. Whatever it is, it's working. So now what I can see is they are starting to move out. You do work with a lot of blue. There's a lot of blue energy that's in your field. Blue energy is a lot of certainty. It is a lot of confidence. It's a lot of you know who you are as a person, and that's been pretty dominant in your field. What I'm looking at now, it's interesting. I wasn't going to say because your chakras looked like they were kind of split, and you were so lively and bubbly, and it didn't make sense to me. But then now that those spirits are moving, your chakras are able to function again. You're going to have a heck of a good day tomorrow. So, there you go.